Hello friends, and welcome back to another day in the life video. Today we are going to be doing so much stuff around the house. It's the weekend, the house is trashed, I got a bunch of stuff I need to get done, and I'm going to take you guys along with me. If you're new here, my name is Nicholsen. I love to share all things homemaking. I'd love it if you would subscribe, and if you're returning, it is so great to see you. Okay, let's jump into this beautiful day. I have so much to share with you. I always feel like on Saturdays, the house is an absolute disaster. It's the end of the week. I will say, I'm the type of person that by Friday, I want to DoorDash and I don't want to cook. I don't want to clean anything. So Saturday morning always brings a nice invitation to reset the house. And I kind of like that, especially now, like today, it is very overcast. It's going to be raining here next week, which is really exciting because we don't see a lot of rain here. And I will say it's starting to feel very much like fall. I feel like the last couple years we haven't really had like those good rainy months. So I'm very excited about that. But today I got the kids fed. I made a nice big giant breakfast for them. They already ate. So now it's time to just tidy up around the house. And I always like to reset the kitchen. It happens to be one of those places in the house that just like I've said in many videos, is the core. And in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about something I mentioned in a previous video about if you knew my mom, you have been fed by my mom. Like that is just who she was. And I shared that I had some friends going through a lot of different types of heartbreak and challenges right now. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I have learned how to show up better for people. I think that when you have little kids, it can get really, really hard to not only, like we talked about in the last video, caring for yourself, but also how to care for others and not feel like it's draining, but it actually fills up your cup. So we're going to talk about that a little bit in this video because this week brought so many lessons and I want to share what I learned with you guys as well. I actually had a really, really incredible week and I think I needed it. It's been one of those seasons of life as of recent where I felt like everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and I just got tired of learning all the lessons. And then all of a sudden, the clouds lifted and some beautiful, beautiful things have happened over the last week. So we'll talk about that in this video. But for now, I want to do a little Sunday reset. Well, it'll be your Sunday. This was my Saturday. And that starts with just cleaning up the areas that I have heavy traffic in. For me, that's obviously the kitchen, having 4 kids, just constantly cooking. We have the football game on in the background. My son and I were watching college football with some other families, and it was so funny because we were thinking like college football is so much better than professional football. I don't know if you feel the same way, but there's just a energy about it that's just, I don't know, it's more entertaining. We like it more. Tell us in the comments, are you a NFL lover, or are you like us and love a good college Saturday football day? I love that. Even though it is Sunday now and we are watching football, we'll be watching football all day while I'm making, we got some more poblanos out of the garden and I'm going to make some chili today. And then for dinner tonight, I'm going to do those Thai pork lettuce wraps that are just sounds so good. I've been craving it. Our garden is kind of dwindling down, so Salty and I will be out there this weekend just harvesting what little we have left. And then at some point, I'm going to have to rip the garden out and we're going to start our winter garden, which I'm really excited about because last year's winter garden was amazing. I don't know what I like more, summer garden or winter garden, but I'm going to keep my tomatoes for sure. Tell us in the comments down below, when are you going to start your winter garden if you have one, and where do you live? Like whereabouts in the world, just understanding kind of your climate, where you live, and what are you going to be planting if you are going to, because I really, really want to do a fun winter garden. It is my happy place. As you all know, I have my list of things. When I get overwhelmed and stressed, I go and I look at my list. And one of the things on my list is to grab Salty, head to the garden, and do a little harvesting. But I also love cleaning. So today we are going to be cleaning this kitchen. I do have some incredible Halloween decorating videos coming up for you guys. As you know, I have a filming segment coming up in 2 weeks, and I need to have the house fully decorated in order to do that. And today, Sunday, as I'm doing this voiceover, I usually do it the day of, just because I like to be very present with you guys. But my husband and I and my kids are all going up to go hiking, and I am going to be bringing in these incredible branches to turn our house into the most haunted, spooky house you will ever see. And I'm going to show everything we do. Yesterday, Saturday, while I was down here cleaning, my husband was upstairs and painted the media room black. Well, we did an accent wall, so I'll show you that. We're going to make that super spooky. And there's nothing more spookier than pests in your kitchen. I highly recommend snagging these. I will link them down below. They are incredible. All you do is change them out every couple of weeks, and it has a little blue light that attracts the bugs. So all of those nasty little flies and gnats and whatnot, that whatever you have, will get captured in there, and I absolutely love those. I will link them down below because they are amazing. Anyway, I digress. So I had such a good weekend. We have all these projects coming up. So if you like Halloween decorating, I know it's not for everybody, and that's totally okay. But if you like that and want to check that out, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss videos. I will be posting a lot more in October. Like I said, a lot has changed for me over the last week, and where I was contemplating going back to work, I have officially made the decision that I am going to just continue doing consulting, continue being here for my kids. I've got kids in, elementary school, I've got kids in middle school, I've got kids in high school, and I feel like as the kids are getting older, I'm starting to realize how fast it all goes by. So if you are a mom with young kids, I promise you, just enjoy the ride, because when they kind of start to creep up into those teen years and college is looming and all of that, all of a sudden looking back is like a blink of an eye. It really is. And I do remember those days of being a mom with 4 little kids. This morning we were watching these funny videos of my kids when they were younger, and it's amazing. That was so many years ago. But in those moments as a mom, I always felt like, oh my God, are the diapers ever going to end? Is the formula ever going to, like, whatever was going, like, how many more years of this? And then all of a sudden we are now looking at our son that's going to be driving soon. And we have 2 kids that are going to be aging out of middle school into high school. Like, it's all going by very fast. And I'm just super excited about being able to be here, be present with my kids, be able to slow down, make them lunch when they come home from school or snacks, whatever. And I feel like this is the right thing for me right now. It doesn't mean, as you all know, if you've been here, I am like a serial mind changer. So like I may change my mind. But for right now, I'm really enjoying my schedules. I'm enjoying life. I can continue to do YouTube and consult. So that is really exciting. And I will obviously, like I said, be posting a lot more in October because I have so many exciting things to share with you. I can't wait to show you the media room. I'm hoping to get that out by October 1st because it is one of the coolest places in our house, and it's become kind of a hub for our family. So I will be sharing that with you guys. And then all of the Halloween decorating. I've got so many new recipes I've been working on. I am working on putting together a cookbook that is not only for you guys, but for me. There are so many days where I actually have to go back and I realize how many recipes I've shared with you guys that I have never written down, that I'm like, oh my God, how did I make that Thai salad? How did I do this? How did I do that? So I'm definitely doing that. I have never taken like really good photos of my recipes. So I'm going to try to work harder at putting that together so you can, I'm sure there's like a publishing company I could probably go and have them bind it and put it together so that it's beautiful for you guys. Right now, I have it all printed in a binder, and I really want to have a nice cookbook. So I'm going to be working on that. And I'm just really excited for this transition, and I'm really excited for you guys for being here and being on this journey with me, being open. And I feel like so many of us are so much alike. Like, I have to tell you, my Instagram, I try to get back to everybody, but I love talking to you guys over there. You send me the funniest reels. I feel like most of you know my sense of humor now, and I just feel like I feel like in the world, I've found my tribe. So I want to say thank you to everybody who has supported my channel and been here, because this has been more to me than you guys will ever, ever, ever understand. So thank you for showing up, and I will do my best to throw that cookbook together as my gift to say thank you to you guys, because it's very, very, very much a part of who I am as a person and my soul, and I couldn't be here without you. So thank you. Let's keep cleaning. I'm going to put on some music, and we have so much more to tackle. One of my favorite ways to prepare for the end of a day is when I get up and I kind of get my day rolling. I love to make my bed. This is one of the most cozy places in the world, and so I always like to make sure I have great bedding. Obviously, I have an amazing mattress, which I'll share which mattress I have here in a minute. The bedding is all from Quince, which I will link down below. I feel like if you are really looking for a nice cozy way to end your day, I highly recommend making your bed. It's always that like little treat at the end of the day that I look forward to. Jumping in here, getting cozy, reading a book. After school, a lot of times my kids will come in here, curl up, either play a game, watch a movie on the TV in here. And I just always feel like this is other than the kitchen, this is kind of like the heart of the home. Like mom and dad's bed is always like, even as a kid, like that was just like such a sacred place. And I want to get everything made before we head in, start dinner, and kind of get started on our night. But before we do that, I want to share the sponsor of today's video, which is Helix Mattress. I've shared Helix many times, but if you were looking for a perfect night's sleep, this is where to begin. As you all know, this has been the mattress of my dreams. I've had it for about 4 or 5 years now. It's been quite a journey, but I have to tell you, this is one of the most incredible mattresses. As you know, I have shared it so many times here on my channel, and if you never got to see my old bed, this is what it looked like. But if you guys aren't familiar with Helix, they sell premium mattresses customized to fit your needs, conveniently shipped right to your door. All you have to do is hop on to helixsleep.com and take their quiz. Now, I am a side sleeper. My husband is a back sleeper. We both like different ranges of firmness, and we also wake up with different pain because, my goodness, are we aging quickly? So when we did our quiz, the mattress that popped up was the Helix Midnight Luxe, which is so deliciously soft. It has a nice, wonderful foam top, and I just love this. It comes rolled up. We've actually purchased Helix mattresses for all of our children. We went with the kids, which I love. If you have little kids, they actually have a great mattress that you can flip over as they age so that the firmness changes with their bodies. And for us, we've had this mattress for, I want to say 4 years now, and it has been the most incredible performance in a mattress I have ever experienced. If you are in the market for a new mattress and you want to upgrade your sleep, now is the time to do it. Head over to helixsleep.com/Lauren Nicholson and take advantage of their 27% off site-wide sale. Snag yourself the best night's sleep. You will not regret it. This is by far one of the only places in the world I spend the most time, and this mattress has been incredible. I highly recommend it. Let's love on Enzo, get these lights on, and let's hop into this beautiful night. So as I previously mentioned in this video, I've been thinking a lot about my mom, especially because this is the season of kind of where my grief kind of hits its hardest points, is between the months of September and December. More so on Thanksgiving, honestly, than Christmas. Christmas at our family was always an absolute disaster. But Thanksgiving was like her time to shine. And it made me reflect on, I have a couple friends that are going through a really hard time, many of which are going through very different stuff. But I thought, what would my mom do in a season like this? And I decided to make all of my friends lasagnas and drop it off at their houses, because I felt like, first off, a lot of us are, as you age, right? We aren't eating a lot of sweets and things like that. And I didn't want to make them cookies because we're not eating that. And I'm like, what can I give them that is just a night off for them? So I decided I was going to put together like a little care package with some face masks, a candle, and some lasagna. They can throw it in the oven, feed themselves, feed their family, and maybe take a little bit of time off. So I decided to whip that up super easy. So the two things I also wanted to do was blend up all my onions, all of my garlic, because I'm running low on both. And while I had all of these recipes going on this particular day, I knew I would be able to use them quickly. So to make the lasagnas, I went ahead and just did a DoorDash order of a bunch of Parmesan cheese, mozzarella. I like to make my lasagna with whipped cream cheese. I know a lot of people like ricotta, but my kids, for whatever reason, don't like it. I've always used cream cheese. It hits a little different. So if you're looking for a different way to make it, I would try that. And for the meat, I'm going to do a bunch of ground beef and a bunch of ground pork with those freshly chopped onions and garlic. Let that cook for a while. And then I also wanted to pre-prep for the week ahead to kind of save myself the work, just getting all of these onions through the processor since I had it out. I always love to do like big process days when it's out. That way you don't have to keep washing it every single day. And it was just like kind of one of those perfect days of just kind of getting everything done. But I was thinking to myself while I was making this for my friends of just how important it is to not only love ourselves, but also be a grounding person for other people. And like we talked in the last video, I feel like the thing that fills my cup up is I'm an acts of service person, and I just want to lean more into loving on the people that I love that help bring joy to my life, and especially my friends, because I will say, like, a lot of times my friends are the people that I run to that used to be my mom. And I talked about this in a previous video about like when you lose your primary parent, right? That parent that was like the person you went to that kind of like helped you through everything in your life. My mom was that for me for sure. And when you lose that person, it's like you kind of lose a bit of yourself and that safety net of who do I go to now. And I just feel really grateful to have friends in my corner that I can love and be loved by. So for today, I thought it'd be a fun day to just make some delicious meals to share with my friends that are going through a rather hard time. Not because they asked for them, not because they need them, but gosh, how nice it was for them to take a night off, not have to make dinner. All of my friends all have kids, and I know what it's like. I've been there. I've had my own struggles. So if this is a moment in time, I'd love to share with all of you that you might want to make something nice for somebody that you know that's going through a lot right now. If you are already making a lasagna or something really simple and easy that can transport to a friend, I highly recommend just making a meal for them. Giving us moms a day off is just such a wonderful gift. And like I said, I feel like there are so many people going through things, and we oftentimes, I feel like we have to hide those things, act like everything is perfect and this and that. But with our true friends, like, we really don't have to be that way. And if you have a friend that's going through a struggling time, make them a nice dinner, send them a nice little movie or something that they can watch and just relax and take the burden off, because life is hard and it takes good friendship to kind of weather those seasons. So I just want to say, today I was channeling my mom. This is something my mom would do. And I wanted to share it with you guys because it is important to me to maintain not only my own self-care, but also nurture that. And not only all of you watching or listening or however you're enjoying this. If this topic brings up a person that rises up in your heart, rises up in your mind, that you're feeling could definitely use a little extra love, because let's face it, we all need a little extra love. But if you can think of that person and it comes up, that is your calling to try to do something lovely for them. I think we all know the feeling of being cared for, loved for, held, and protected in times when we are scared, when we have struggles, whether those are health, whether those are personal, whatever they may be. A simple little act of kindness can go such a long way. So if me bringing that up brought up a person in your mind or your heart, I want you to stop what you're doing, cut this video, and go do something lovely for them. Once I got all of these assembled, I wanted to put on a little extra touch, so I added some fresh mozzarella to the top, a little bit of Italian seasoning, and that's how they all turned out. We're going to get these covered and on their way. I put these in a bag with some eggs that came out of the garden, and I also added some tomatoes and just some cucumbers, whatever I kind of had out there. I put a little care package together and delivered those. I actually had a couple of these I had to freeze and deliver a day or two later, so that was also a great thing if you want to make these when you have, a little bit extra time, put them in the freezer and share with friends after. Just a nice thing to do, I think, if you have, again, friends that are going through stuff. My friend Amy sent me flowers last week, which are still in my office. I'm looking at them right now. And it was as if she knew I was going through a hard day. It happened to be a day I was kind of going through some grieving with losing my mom. And there was a knock on the door and somebody had delivered flowers. And it just made me feel so loved. And I just think that we could all do a little bit more of that in our lives. So anyway, enough about that. So tonight I wanted to get the house reset, get all of these lasagnas done, and then I have a really yummy dinner recipe I'll be sharing with you at the end of this video. It's very, very good, and you can pretty much make it in about 5 minutes. It's very simple. But for right now, let's get this house tidy because now it's an absolute mess, and I want to be able to get all of that done before I start making dinner. I'm also going to make another batch of ice cream for the kids, and we just have so much to do, so let's get right into it. While I was tidying things up, I realized that something that, like a cleaner spray or something, had gone underneath the sink here and it spilled everywhere. So I had to take everything out, which also reminded me, I can't remember the last time I actually cleaned out underneath this sink area. But without getting completely sideways and redoing this entire thing, I just wanted to get it quickly cleaned up. But I did put it on my list of things I wanted to tackle this week. It is a new week. I am going to be transforming the house for Halloween all week. I'm very excited. I have a couple really fun DIY projects that I've just kind of been thinking about, and I feel like I finally have the space and time to kind of tackle these. So that's going to be very exciting. I love doing spooky things for Halloween. Over the years when my kids were younger, I did very, like ghosts and very spiders, not spooky things. But this year my kids are old enough and they all said it was fine if I did something crazy spooky. So I have these ideas to get done, and I have to have the house completely done by the 6th. So a week from Monday, which now as I'm sitting here, I was going to do this last week and now I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get all this done in 1 week? So I'm very excited. I'll be sharing all of those videos if you're looking for some fun, spooky things to do. Halloween has always been one of those seasons that's just really fun if you are into decorating and doing DIYs, because you can just do so much. I still have to say that one tablescape I had with all the skeletons and the moss was one of my favorites, but the ones that I have for this year, the ideas I have, I would have to say are going to be unlike anything I've ever seen before. So I'm really, really excited. My husband's going to help me do that, so you're probably going to see a little bit of him in some upcoming videos. So I had a couple questions about the ice cream and how I make it. So when I make ice cream, I put whipped cream cheese, I do sugar, heavy whipping cream, I add milk, usually 1/4 cup of the heavy whipping cream, 1/4 cup of milk, and depending on how much you need and how much you're making. And then I do I would say probably 4 to 6 ounces of the whipped cream cheese. And then you can get flavors from Amazon. Right now my kids are loving the cake batter and the gumball flavor. You can I'll link them down below. This gumball flavor is perfection. And then I just colored the ice cream blue just because it's fun. So if you guys are wondering how I make that, then what I do is I put it in the freezer and then I use my Ninja Creamy, and that makes it like absolutely perfect. So good, blends the flavors. You can also mix things in. For the gumballs, I mix gumballs in, and for the cake batter, I actually have cake that we mix in, and it's just super yummy. I will link those down below as well. So for dinner, I'm really feeling fall, although as I'm doing this voiceover, if I haven't already mentioned, I took fall down, which was really sad. But that doesn't mean that all the fall recipes can't start coming out, because I am ready for all the things. Tonight we're going to be making some sweet potato mashed potatoes with a little bit of maple butter, which I got from Trader Joe's. And I love to add in bacon, or you can also add in, if you don't have maple syrup, you can also add in some bourbon is really, really good. I will link that recipe down below. But anyway, we're going to be making that. And then my family hasn't had fish in a while, so I decided to do a salmon recipe, and I didn't know what would go with this, so I ended up mixing maple syrup and soy sauce, and we're going to bake the salmon. It came out really delicious, so let's get cooking. To make these, I'm just going to put them in this foil, make a little boat, and then I'll pour that marinade over it. You could also put that all into a plastic bag and either freeze it or cook this, let it marinate for the day, just depending on how you like to have your salmon. I think this would be the best. If you were to do this on, let's say, like a cast iron skillet or something, I think that it would actually burn a bit. So I think doing it in the boat, it came out really juicy and the flavors were awesome. I would also recommend, if you have a little brown sugar, to drizzle that in there. It just gives it that nice candy crust. But this turned out really, really yummy. You could do this over a bed of rice, throw it into a salad. I thought this was super good. So I'm not going to type out the recipe because it's very, very simple. But if you want to write it down and try this week, I think you guys are going to love it. Now that I'm done with the salmon, I'm just going to seal these up and bake them for about 20 minutes, or just check on them, make sure that they are all fully cooked, depending on how many you have in there and your oven and all that. I cooked mine at 375 and it was about 20 minutes. Very, very good. You could also, sometimes when I'm trying to put a quick salmon recipe together, I put some lemon and dill, and with a little bit of apple cider vinegar, or you could just use orange juice. I've done before, same kind of method, turns out really yummy. So I actually shared this in a previous video, but I didn't mention the recipe, and I make this all the time for my kids. It's one of my favorite desserts. You're going to chop up some apples, take all the skin off them, throw them in a bowl, add some sugar and some cinnamon, mix that up, and then I will share at the end of this video that clip so you can make this for your family. It's kind of like a deconstructed apple pie. It's very, very easy to make, and the flavors are so good. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute while we go ahead and finish our sweet potatoes. I've already taken them out, strained them, and now I'm going to mash them up in the same pot, but I'm going to add that maple butter that I got from Trader Joe's. It turned out so yummy. And then to give it a little creamy extra flavor, I'm going to add some more of that whipped cream cheese. I had a little left over. That turned out really good. You could also add some just Parmesan cheese in here, a little salt and pepper. You can add some, like I said before, some bacon. Very, very good. Our salmon is done. I am going to get dinner on the table, and then I'm going to make this recipe for you guys, and then we're going to go cozy up in my bed. I've been thinking about getting in all day. It's one of my favorite things to do is get in bed and start reading after the kids go to bed. And I feel like since we already made the bed, it's calling to me and I'm ready. I had a little green goddess dressing left over, so I'm going to put that over some arugula. I'll show you how dinner turned out, and then we're going to come in here and make a delicious little recipe for dessert. So we already have the apples mixed with cinnamon and sugar ready to go. I'm going to put some butter into a pan and we're going to cook that down. I'm going to add just a little bit of apple juice, but what I would prefer to have used is apple cider. I love the apple cider from Trader Joe's, but I didn't have any. So we'll just let that cook for about 15 minutes and the sugar will kind of caramelize, and when it looks like this and the sugar and the butter have all kind of caramelized together, you're ready to go. This is so easy. I added it to my wild grain smashed croissants. This is so good for mine and my husband's, I added a little mascarpone cheese, and then the Trader Joe's caramel sauce I did over it, but honestly, that's kind of overkill. I probably didn't need that, but this is how to make that. You can add, just have this with ice cream. You can literally have it just by itself. My kids sometimes like to just have it in a bowl. It is just really simple, very fall, very delicious. I apologize for not sharing that video last time, but it is my turn to wind down. I've got Enzo. She is so cute. Sometimes she just wants to be held, and I try to put her down and she just won't do it, but she was ready to come in here and read with me. So I am going to hop in the shower. It's been a very, very long day. I found some really good fall body scrub from Trader Joe's. It was like pumpkin spice. And I decided to just do that, cozy up. I'm going to read a book, and I am going to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you got inspired to share some love with those of your friends that definitely need a little extra. Always be that guiding light in other people's lives. And Enzo and I will see you in the next video real soon.